Welcome to this video lesson on presentation skills. Presentation skills are essential in every professional field. Teaching, engineering, IT, sales and marketing, etc. In this lesson, we'll study how presentation skills are important and what you can do to improve your presentation skills. The content is divided in two parts. In the first video, we'll study what is presentation and its examples. What is the need and importance? If this is the question that comes to your mind, can I become a good presenter? We'll try and find out an answer. Then we'll see how to overcome a fear of public speaking and how to make your presentation effective. Then we'll see positive and negative body language and its impact on your presentation. In the second video, we'll study how to prepare a good PowerPoint presentation. First of all, what is presentation? It is something set forth to an audience for the attention of mind. Examples are seminars and lectures, paper presentations, poster presentation, then business presentation. Maybe you're presenting a proposal to your seniors, or sometimes you're presenting a report. Some other examples are conference, elocution competitions, public speeches, presenting news, debate, group discussion, and interview. What does presentation include? When you're giving a presentation, you're not only presenting the topic and its contents, but you are presenting yourself, your personality, your attitude, your expertise, your hard work, knowledge, your thought process. Everything is reflected through your presentation. First of all, we should try to find out an answer to this question. Why should I become a good presenter, or why should I become a good speaker? If you're a good presenter, it helps you in career advancement and professional achievements. And most importantly, it puts you on display. It highlights your leadership qualities. Your staff believes in you and accepts you as their leader. Your seniors get impressed by your skills and abilities, and your colleagues admire you. As I said, if this is the question that comes to your mind, can I become a good presenter or speaker? The answer is yes. Anyone can become a good presenter because it is not an inborn talent. It can be acquired by practice, hard work, perseverance, like any other skill. For example, you acquired many skills like swimming, riding a bicycle, etc. Oh my God! Is this how you feel when you are asked to give a presentation? A big question mark, right? Don't worry, because you're not the only one. You know what is the biggest fear of all? Yes, it is the fear of public speaking. 75% of people suffer from fear of public speaking. If you have this fear in your mind, let's analyze it. What is the exact fear? Sometimes it is the fear of failure. If this is the case with you, then you should remember this. Everyone falls at one's first step. If you have fear of making mistakes, as many people have, remember this: every good speaker was once a bad speaker. So if you think you are not a good speaker today, there are chances that one day you will become a very good speaker with hard work and practice. Now let's see how to make our presentation effective. To make your presentation effective, first of all, you need to find an answer to this question. Why? Why I am making this presentation? What is the purpose? So if you're clear on the purpose, the things go right and you can perform well. Second is, you should use positive body language. We'll talk about it in detail afterwards. Then you should analyze the audience whom you are giving the presentation. What is their educational background? What are their needs and interests? If you want to make your presentation effective, it is always a good idea to use images, stories, examples, and anecdotes. These all things help you to illustrate your ideas, make your audience respond positively, and ensures that your audience is attentive. If you are thinking of memorizing the entire speech, wait a minute, that is not at all a good idea. Because first of all, nobody likes that. Secondly, it is very difficult. It also takes more time to memorize than to understand the topic. And the greatest risk is if you forget something in the middle of your speech, you are stuck, you are in trouble. So don't ever think about it. You can remember, you can memorize the important points only, and you can explain the important points in your own words. After this, if you want to make your presentation effective, looking at the audience is very much essential. Eye contact. I will discuss this later in detail. Preparation is the real key. Because if you prepare well, you can perform well. If you spend 70% of your time writing the script, you will create a better presentation. One of the greatest politicians and speakers, Winston Churchill, had said, if you fail to prepare, you are preparing to fail. So preparation is the key. Next is practice. Practice as much as possible. It helps you to gain confidence. Then while you are giving presentation, speak slowly and confidently. The time is all yours, the space is all yours, you are the in charge, so take control of the situation. And as I have said earlier, don't worry about mistakes. Even great speakers make mistakes. Just notice your mistakes and improve next time. Your enthusiasm and energy. This is also an important aspect of giving a good presentation. Good energy level helps you to make good first impression and makes your audience show interest, at least in the beginning. Then you should learn to manage your time. You should finish your presentation in given time, and you can divide your presentation in 3 parts. The first is introduction or beginning. 10% of the total time can be utilized for this. During this, you can go for breaking the ice, like getting the audience involved in your topic. You can give your introduction and you can introduce the topic. You should think about creating interest among the audience in your topic by asking a few questions, or you can say a few interesting things. After this, the main part, the main content, you should deliver the main content in 80% of the total time. Here you can use different techniques like organizing your content in logical manner, repeating important points, giving examples, telling relative stories or anecdotes, or you can sometimes show pictures and models. You can ask questions like that. In the remaining 10% of time, you should conclude your presentation. You can summarize the contents. You can again repeat or highlight the important points, and you can present your opinion and observation. After this, we'll study positive and negative body language and how they impact on your presentation. We'll start with eye contact. When you're giving a presentation, you should try to maintain eye contact with the audience. You should look at the audience. Make sure you are looking at the entire span of audience. Then make sure you are paying attention to all the people in the audience evenly. It shows that you are confident, honest, and prepared. If you are looking at the audience relates themselves with you easily, and the audience is more likely to listen to you attentively. If there is no eye contact, like you are looking down or up, maybe you are looking outside through the windows and doors, or maybe you are looking towards the board all the time or for a long time. Sometimes you look towards a fixed span of the audience, or a fixed person in the audience. All these things are negative gestures, negative body language signals. You should try to avoid them because this reflects that you are not confident or not prepared. And if you're not looking at the audience gets distracted very easily, and this further reduces your confidence. Then second, we have a smile. Keep a gentle smile on your face. Too much smiling or unnecessary smiling or grinning like a fool during presentation leads only to distraction. After this, we have voice. You should speak in loud and clear voice. Make sure you are audible to everyone sitting in the hall. Low and unclear voice makes the audience irritated and they lose interest. Movements on stage. If possible, try to make movements on stage. Keep moving if there is enough space, but be careful. Too much movement or too fast and unnecessary movements may distract the audience. Now, gestures means hand movements. You should keep your hands moving, and the movements should be slow and meaningful. As far as possible, try to keep your palms up or visible, because this palms up gesture is considered to be an indication of being open-minded, cooperative, encouraging, and friendly. Next, there should be congruence between what you speak and how your hands move. Means your hand movements should be congruent with the tone of your voice. Then we have some negative gestures that we should avoid during presentation. Pointing finger is sometimes considered as negative. Palms down is also a negative gesture because it is usually used to oppress people, to stop people from speaking, and this is undesirable during a presentation. If you are making unnecessary and irrelevant movements of hands, if you are moving your hands irrelevant or very fast, then these are considered as negative gestures. Sometimes some people move only one hand all the time. Try to keep your hands in front of your body and moving gently and gracefully. Because if you are not paying attention to these things, if you are doing negative gestures, it means you lack confidence. Maybe you are anxious and nervous. Then we have this posture. Posture means position of your body. How you stand, how you sit, how you carry yourself. Positive postures are your body should be straight and upright. Your shoulders should be slightly upwards, not too much like this. You should walk gracefully. You should look straight. Some negative postures are raising or lowering your chin, means looking upwards or looking downwards. You should be looking straight. Slouching or bending forward is also considered as negative gesture. Sometimes some people lean against a wall, table or bench or a chair, whatever they have near them. You should try and avoid this thing. Hands in pocket is also a negative gesture. Similarly, hands locked behind or folded arms. You should try and avoid these negative gestures. Then we have dress and appearance. Select appropriate dressing style, preferably formal, but you can use a dress that suits the occasion or purpose. Avoid anything that is distracting. Too bright or fancy colors, chunky jewelry, or just anything that distracts the attention of the audience from the main topic should be avoided. Now, dress and appearance. Selecting proper dress code depends upon situation or purpose of the presentation. Sometimes the situation demands fancy things, like for example promotion of a movie or promotion of a product with grand celebration, party, etc. So just see what the occasion is. So this was all about using body language in your presentation. In this lesson, today we studied what is the need and importance of presentation skills. It helps you in career advancements and professional achievements. We studied everyone can become a good presenter because it's not just an inborn skill. You can acquire it by practice and hard work. Every good speaker was once a bad speaker. So if you think you are not a good speaker, then there are chances, there is scope that if you work hard, you will also become a good speaker. Don't worry about mistakes, learn from them, and most importantly, take chances. Then we studied how to make our presentation effective. We should be clear on the purpose of our presentation. We should try and use positive body language and avoid negative body language. We should analyze the audience, what kind of audience we are facing. Then, as far as possible, we should try to use images, stories, and examples. You should plan your presentation, prepare and practice well, because practice is the key. And you should be enthusiastic and energetic about your presentation because the audience responds according to your energy level. Then we have these important things that we studied. You should maintain eye contact, you should keep a gentle smile on your face, your voice should be loud and clear, you should make graceful movements on stage if possible, you should use appropriate hand gestures, and you should see that you keep your posture appropriate. Then you should see that you are choosing correct and appropriate dressing style and your appearance according to the situation and demand of the topic. These all things help you to make your presentation effective. PowerPoint presentation is just a tool to help you out. It is not an alternative to your skills. Some people use PPT to hide their inability to face the audience. Imagine a king hiding behind a warrior in a battle. As a king, a hero should face the situation straight head on. For your audience, believe me, you are their hero. You are the one who has got control on the stage. You can use PPT as a tool or as an instrument, no doubt about it, like a warrior uses weapons to fight. What I want to say here is, it's you who is important and not your PPT. Imagine you are the boss and your assistant tries to take control over you. How do you feel? Would you like it? Not at all. Similarly, use your PPT as your assistant. Don't let it take control over you. Don't let it take all the credit. Use it as you want. The second point is limit number of slides. Too many slides may cause difficulty to finish the presentation in time, and that may land you in trouble. There is no fixed rule as to how many slides should be there for a presentation of certain length. It depends upon how long it takes for you to explain one slide. For some slides you may need 2 minutes, or sometimes you can finish 4 to 5 slides in just 1 minute. It also depends on what is the content and how you are going to explain it. The best way to decide number of slides is a quick rehearsal while you are still preparing your presentation. The third point is put only important points on the slides. Too much text on the slide doesn't serve any purpose. Your audience is not interested in reading a whole lot of information that is displayed on the screen. Remember that. Just take a look at this slide. How does it look? Does it look good? No, not at all. So what is the solution? The solution here is follow the rule of thumb 6 by 7. 6 lines on one slide, 7 words in one line. I will explain how to do it later on in this video with an example. But for now, let's remember this is just a thumb rule. Follow it till you become a good speaker. After that, you are capable of deciding yourself. The next point is make as much use of non-verbal content as possible. People remember 95% if the content is presented with the help of images and pictures. Use pictures, charts, graphs, images, audio, video, etc. to help the audience understand your point. The next important point is the non-verbal content that you are using should be relevant. If you are using a particular image or a chart or a graph, you should know why you are using it, how it is related to your topic. If you are using anything that is irrelevant just for the sake of making your slide look good, it creates bad impression. The next point that we have is make use of good and readable font. See that the font you are using is readable. Some of the popularly used fonts are the ones which are really good are Times New Roman, Calibri, Cambria, Arial, etc. Avoid using stylish fonts unless it is necessary for your presentation, for your content, because stylish fonts are usually difficult to read and they act as a distraction or irritation for the audience. The next point that we have is select appropriate font size. This is also important. Preferably use 28 to 44, 44 for title and 28 for content. Just take a look at this slide. Can you read the contents? You might be able to read it, but it's very small, isn't it? Now look at the next slide. The contents are same. You can see this one is better, isn't it? So take care of the font size as well. The next is use colors wisely. Some people are fond of using attractive and reflective colors. Too much use of reflective colors give strain on the eyes and that causes irritation. For example, look at this slide. How does it look? Now look at the background color of this slide. It's too reflective that it irritates our eyes. Then you have use proper contrast to make the text readable. Contrast means the color of your background and the color of your text. Look at this. Here the contrast is poor, so the readability is not very good. Here the background is dark, the text color is also dark, and therefore the readability is reduced. It is very difficult to read. Another example, again here the background is light and the color of the text is also light. So there is poor contrast. Next point is use simple slide transitions. Transition means how your next slide appears on the screen. There are numerous transitions available. I suggest if you are a beginner, use simple transitions. The next really important point is use simple animations. Animation means how the text and images appear on your screen. Again, keep it simple if you are a beginner until you gain enough confidence on the stage. After that, you can try different things as you gain experience, play with the different options as you can. Let's take a look at this animation. See, these animations are annoying. Moreover, if you're a beginner, you have a little control over it due to this. See, these fancy and slow animations serve as distractions. It's not that you should never use them. You can use, but it is better you use simpler and faster animations like this until you become confident enough to use the complicated and fancy animations. The next important point that we have is keep it short and simple. You have a lot of information collected from various different sources, but putting paragraphs and paragraphs on the slide is not good. As far as possible, try and reduce the paragraphs into sentences and reduce sentences further into short, meaningful phrases. And most importantly, make sure you understand everything that is included in your presentation, especially on the slides. For example, imagine you are making a presentation and the topic of your presentation is globalization. Let's assume that you have collected all the necessary information from various sources. Nowadays, you have technology on your fingertips. You just have to tell your Google friend and your work is done. You get a lot of information on the go. So collecting information is not a problem anymore. The real challenge is selecting the correct and appropriate content, deciding what to include in your presentation and what to exclude, and most importantly, organizing the content to serve the purpose. Let's assume that you have done all these things and you have all the data ready for your presentation. Now you start making your PPT. Let's take a sample paragraph and let's assume that this is the part of the information that you have collected and that you are going to present. This is the information that you have collected. You know what some people do? They put all the information that they have as it is on the slides. They don't even remove the hyperlinks. You know the blue words with underlines, those are the hyperlinks. If you click on the word, it takes you to another page that gives information about that word. You know the problem is not the hyperlinks. The real problem is you copy everything that you get on the internet and paste it on your slides and you think you have done a great job. And at the time of giving presentation, what do? You just go on reading it. Do you want to know what impact it makes on your audience? I will read this slide for you. Let's see how it feels. Globalization is the process of interaction and integration among people, company and governments worldwide. As a complex and multifaceted phenomenon, globalization is considered by some as a form of capitalist expansion which entails the integration of local and national economies into a global, unregulated market economy. Globalization has grown due to advances in transportation and communication technology. With the increase in global interaction, blah 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 blah. How do you feel about it as an audience? Did you like it? No? Then remember, your audience will also not like such things. Another important question is how much of the information you have really understood. Make use of dictionary if you don't know meaning of any particular word. Nowadays finding meaning of words is not difficult. You can use the same technique by which you collected this information. You can ask your Google friend and you will get meaning of any word, or there are numerous dictionary applications available that work offline. You can make use of them. See, the technology is not bad in itself. You should know how to use it to fulfill your needs. So understanding is important because it gives you confidence, and if you have understood the topic, then you can always arrange and rearrange different things in your presentation as per your requirements. For example, I have reduced this paragraph into a few sentences. See, globalization is interaction among people, companies and governments worldwide. It is a complex and multifaceted phenomenon. It requires integration of local and national economies into global economy. Globalization has increased due to advancement in transportation and communication technology. Due to increased global interaction, there is growth of international trade, ideas and culture. Globalization is primarily an economic process. So let's take a look at the previous slide again. Compared to the previous slide, this slide looks good, isn't it? Let's reduce these sentences further. Look at the title, globalization. You can use any title you want. You are the one who is presenting the topic, so you know it better. Let's look at the points. An economic process. Globalization is an economic process. It's worldwide interaction, complex phenomenon, needs integration of local and national economies. Technology has helped increase in globalization, growth of international trade, ideas and culture. Now, take a look at the previous slide and this one. What we have done here basically is we have reduced the content. Now you're all set. You can read these points to your audience and go on explaining them one by one. And yes, think about what image or a graph or a chart that you can use for these points one by one, the charts or the images that throw more light on these important things. So what basically we have done here is we have organized the content in presentable manner. In order to achieve this, you have to spend some time. First you should read, then understand, and then work on it. Well, I hope you have got my point. Now let's take a quick review of what we have studied today. We have studied PPT is just a tool. Use it wisely. It cannot be an alternative to your skills. Limit number of slides. Put only important points on the slide. Follow 6x7 rule. Use non-verbal media as far as possible. Make your content readable. Take care of font size, color scheme, contrast, etc. Then use simple animations and transitions. I'm thankful to the organizing team for giving me a chance to contribute my little efforts in this great endeavor. I also thank the participants for spending their valuable time listening to me. This was really a great experience for me. Thank you very much.